Hello, it's 59 GMT. This is the Midday News. The news is live on Joy99.7 FM in Accra. We are live in Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM. We are streaming live on Facebook and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Laura FM in Laura, A1 Radio in Bolgatanga, Sky FM in Sunyane, and Victory FM Aplau. Go digital on Spotify and the MindJoy online app. And coming up, mother of young immigration officer shot dead by unknown assailant at the Hamile border, wailing uncontrollably after seeing news of his death on social media. An incident also, ECOWAS court orders Attorney General to pay $750 for late filing of defense in the case against the Japa deal.
We are not even asking the court to nullify the deal. We are not asking the court to make any adverse pronouncement on the deal. We're only saying if this thing is for the people of Ghana, it is just fair for the procedure, for the system, for the processes to be altered and allow due consultation.
We have details from court for you. Also here on the Midday News, large tracts of mango farms in the Yellow Krobo municipality of the eastern region at risk of destruction as bacteria black spot disease ravages. What is the main cash crop in the area?
It's discouraging. You invest so much, and then at the end of the season, when you are ready to harvest, you see BBS destroy your fruits.
We have a story of farmers and what the municipal authorities are doing to address the problem. Meanwhile, there's controversy in Parliament on Ghana's food security as the Majority Chief Whip challenges claims by the ranking member on the Agri Committee that the country increases import of some basic commodities is alarming. We'll take you there coming up in sports.
Nigeria come across as our little babies, but they pretend to be the big boys. GFA President Keto Kreku claims ahead of the big contest on March 25.
We have details of these stories and more here on the Midday News. Thanks for choosing us. Thanks for choosing us. This is the home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. I'm Ernest, Manu. That's the sound of a mother consumed by grief and uncontrollable emotions. Her son Michael Otu, an immigration officer, has been shot dead in the border town of Hamle in the northern region, but only heard the news on social media. The family has been devastated by this and also how they received the news. My colleague Wolanyo has been speaking to the family and joins us on the line with more on this. Wolanyo, what more can you tell us? How are they managing this?
Let me say that when we got to the place, emotions were quite very high because information trickling to the family was a bit sketchy in the sense that most of the information they have is not from official officials of the Ghana Immigration Service, but information they have were from colleagues of their son who had died in the line of duty. The rest of the information they have is coming from social media. Most of it is from social media. But officially, the Ghana Immigration Service authorities are yet to visit the family. But when we got there, the mother the brother of the slain immigration officer, and then the senior brother, Richard Otu. They were all very, 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 very disturbed about the information they were taking about their son. Michael happens to be the last of 4 children. He joined the Ghana Immigration Service in 2016. He's married with a daughter, a baby. And so this information coming to them in this manner is quite very disturbing.
Well, Anyo, thank you very much for bringing us those details. We'll be following up on this story and bring you more in our subsequent bulletins. Let's go to court now. The Attorney General has been ordered by the ECOWAS Court to pay an amount of $750 to Transparency International for the late filing of its defense in the case filed against the Japa deal. Transparency International is asking the regional court to halt the proposed deal geared at monetizing Ghana's gold and rather allow for further consultation, as it alleges the presence of politically exposed persons in the transaction leaves much to be desired. The regional court is sitting here in Accra and heard the case today for the first time. Court correspondent Joseph Akable joins me in the studio with more. Joseph, run us through proceedings for today.
And so first, the AG's representative, Dorothy Free-Ansai, Chief State Attorney, informed the court that they had wanted more time to file the defense, and they had attached a proposed defense to the documents that they presented to the court in asking for more time. The lawyers for Transparency International did not oppose that request. However, the Transparency International had actually filed additional documents in response to the AG's proposed defense. So that is what the AG's lawyers were asking for more time to respond to. Now, the argument by Transparency International is that they brought the matter to court in July 2021. So up until now, if you're asking for more time to file, and we've also filed some responses, they don't understand why they should be given additional time to file further arguments. And so they say that since the court is sitting here in Accra, if there is any adjournment, it has to be within the period that the court is sitting. Else, it will mean that Transparency International would have to have their lawyers travel to wherever the court will be sitting next to deal with this. And so the court therefore ordered the AG's office to pay an amount of $750. We can listen to lawyer for Transparency International, Olumide Babalola.
Okay, so all the processes, all the procedures, all the plans and everything concerning that deal did not follow due process. I mean, from our own, from that is basically, this is not concluded now. This is just based on the case we have filed in court, although we're not supposed to discuss the merit of it, and this has nothing to do with the merit of it, but the fact of the case we have taken to court is to show that, first of all, that deal did not follow due process. Secondly, it is not in favor or for the benefit or in the public interest, because the SPV set up by the government, or proposed to be set up by the government, the company proposed to be set up by the government, has some politically exposed individuals on board. And we have approached the court to say, if this deal, or if the SPV set up for extracting proceeds from the gold sale and the what we call Commonwealth of the people of Ghana, if they did not have a say as to how the entire process was set up, if they do not have a say on the sincerity of the government in setting up the entire deal itself, and how this thing is going to favor them at the end of the day, most importantly, if people who are relatives, associates, apologists of the government are the ones who are on the board, and if they are the ones who have formed this company, then it shows that there's so much to be probed. It shows there's so much to be looked into. It gives us an impression that there was no transparency at all in the first place, and it gives us also the impression that the people have not been informed.
That's lawyer for Transparency International, Olumide Babalola, there speaking to Joy News. Now, an economist and political risk analyst, Dr. Theo Champon, is advocating new approaches to sustain the country's oil production output, or it may decline. This is one of the outcomes of a research conducted by the Public Interest and Accountability Committee on the management and use of Ghana's petroleum revenues over the past 10 years. At a program to review how petroleum revenues have been utilized since Ghana started receiving revenues from petroleum, Dr. Champon also hinted of the need for the National Oil Company to directly acquire more stakes in some of the yet-to-be-produced fields.
The forecast was that just one field, Jubilee alone, was actually going to be doing 120,000 to 140,000 barrels a day by the time production came on stream. And subsequently, when production started, because of what looks like a rushed development process, there were problems with some of the wells. So we had to spend more money to remedy those problems, and those costs are costs that count as petroleum costs. So you have to reduce or deduct those costs from your revenues before you pay something like your corporate income tax. So that's just showing you the overall trajectory of production over the past 10 years. But if we don't do anything about our production output, then production may decline in the next couple of years. And given also the issues of the transition, there probably may not be much to be said in terms of an oil and gas industry.
That's Dr. Theo Champon, a political risk analyst there. My colleague Kwekwa Santi was at this forum and joins us on the line with more on this. Kweku, the speaker of the report indicate how well Ghana has done in terms of generating revenue from its oil production.
So, according to Dr. Theo Champon, this is a question that is still out there for the jury to deliberate on as to whether or not the country has been able to benefit maximum in terms of the revenue we've been able to get from our oil resources. And that question feeds directly from some of the concerns people have been raising about GNPC's effort to acquire more stakes in the country's oil for the recent Aker Energy deal is a point in reference. And so he's saying that for Ghana to benefit in such maximum way, GNPC must consider acquiring more stakes in some of these yet to be produced oil fields. And GNPC must also look or take another look at the kind of donations they've been making that does not go to the core of their business.
That's my colleague Kwekwa Santi there who covered this forum for us. We have more in our subsequent bulletins. To the eastern region now. Large tracts of mango farms in the Yellow Krobo municipality of the eastern region are at risk of destruction as bacteria black spot disease ravages what is the main cash crop in the area. Farmers, as a result, started selling off their farms. The bacteria attacks the leaves, the twigs, as well as the mango fruit itself. The farmers say they have no option but to sell their farmlands because of the high cost associated with maintaining the farms in the wake of this disease. John uses Samuel Kojo visited the area and now reports.
It's discouraging. To be frank, it's discouraging because you invest so much. And then at the end of the season, when you are ready to harvest, you see BBS destroying your fruits. And most of the farmers have started selling their farms because of this particular BBS issue.
Obed Amevo owns this 10-acre mango farm here at Somenya. Mango farming has been his livelihood in the past 15 years. Obed says all looked good until recently when disaster struck. A disease called the bacterial black spot, popularly known as BBS, attacked farms in Yellow Krobo and its environs, and his was not spared. Last year alone, he lost more than half of his investment to this disease.
This BBS issue has been a problem for all the farmers, all mango farmers for the past years. And surprisingly, we've been making all the noise. But for instance, last season, I was supposed to harvest for HPW after farm assessment. When they did the farm assessment, I was hitting almost 35, 36 tons. I got just about 11 tons.
What?
Yes. And they can testify to that. HPW can testify to that. The association also did its assessment, and that is what is happening. Even if you can look on the ground now, you see this is as a result of last season. And nobody knows what will happen this season because the rains have not started yet. But once the rain starts, nobody knows what will happen.
Somenya is arguably Ghana's biggest hub for mango cultivation. Unlike other communities in Ghana, mango farmers here are able to harvest twice in a year. With the cost of farm input soaring, farmers are struggling. Gideon Do Bokome is the chairman of Yellow Krobo Mango Farmers Association.
The biggest challenge is funds. You see, we need funds and we need research, proper research to be done. Currently, This one, the chemicals, when they bring it, we are doing it. You see somebody's doing somewhere, someone is doing this one somewhere. But we need the government to get involved. The Greek institutions to get involved. The universities should get involved. Because that is the only way we can solve it. Because it's the whole Ghana, not only Yilo. It's the whole Ghana. The whole mango industry is on its nails. And if we don't solve it, the system will collapse.
For the farmer, the government has been slow to take action. But Municipal Chief Executive for the Yilo Krobo Municipal Assembly, Eric Tete, says they have taken some steps.
So when I assumed office about 5 months ago, I tried to find out what really the problem was. And I realized it was very daunting. So during my visits to the university there, I challenged the university authorities that one of the things that they can do to help our people was to research into this disease and so that we could find a lasting solution to it.
Samuel Kojo Brace filed that report. He joins me in the studio. Samuel, there's some solutions being explored by the Municipal Assembly there. Tell us more.
So they are looking at the university there, the University of Natural Resources, to conduct some research into the disease to find out how to go about it. But the farmers are also saying that if government can bring the mass spraying that they do for cocoa into the mango farms, they think that they will go a long way to help them out of this particular problem.
Thank you very much. That's my colleague Samuel Kojo Brace. Now, in Parliament today, Ghana's food security has generated heated debate on the floor following a claim made by the ranking member on the Food and Agri Committee, Eric Opoku, that Ghana imports tons of cassava and onions from China. The Majority Chief Whip Frank Anodompre challenged the Sunafo South MP to back his claims with evidence. Listen to excerpts of the debate.
For example, cassava. It is on record, and the Statistical Research Information Directorate of Ghana's Ministry of Agriculture has reported that we produce cassava in abundance in this country, in excess of our demand. But yet, Ghana is importing cassava and cassava-related products from China. It's unfortunate.
My ranking member, who I respect a lot, just to be sure, you made the point that we import cassava from China.
No.
Can my colleague and my good friend give some better particulars on this? I'm not too sure. I am not too sure about that. But if you can prove that Ghana imports that.
In the MPP's own budget, presented before this House, if the 2021 copy, precisely paragraph 393, you have stated that Ghana is importing cassava into this country. Please, let me learn. You wait.
Yeah.
We also import onion.
From Kojo.
We import
From Burkina Faso, Mali.
onion from Niger. And every year, Ghana spends a whopping $107 million on the importation of onion. Mr. Speaker, Ghana imports 43% of the total onion produced in Niger. So Ghana is a very huge market for the people of Niger. We import tomato from Burkina Faso. We are importing almost everything.
Parliamentary correspondent Kwesi Parker-Wilson joins us on the line with more on this. Parker, it appears that this evidence that Eric Opoku provided was not sufficient enough, at least for the Deputy Speaker, who was, superintending over this debate.
Yes, so it was established that indeed the importation of cassava or starch were captured in the 2021 budget, but as to where they were coming from was not captured in the budget. And so that was where the Deputy Speaker, who was presiding, had concern and asked the House to correct, because this is the House of Record. And so Eric Opoku cannot mislead the House by saying that we are importing cassava and onions from China. So that was a concern. But Ernest, you know that tomorrow the Finance Minister is appearing before Parliament and announce to the country some austerity measures that the government has adopted to pull us back from the economic mess. I have with me the Dr. Marfo, he's the member of Parliament for Fericom. Briefly, Doc, the Finance Minister is coming tomorrow. Your expectations, briefly.
Well, my expectation is that the Finance Minister will announce measures that government can follow to deal with the challenges that we are currently facing, specifically the CD fall and fuel prices, and how to manage the fiscal challenges that we have. especially with respect to how we can balance revenue and the projected expenditure.
Right. Mutala Ibrahim is the Tamale Central Head. Sir, your expectation briefly.
Well, he's coming to tell us blame the economic woes and the mess we have on COVID. He's coming to blame it on Ukraine-Russia conflict. And I can tell you, when we finally have a resolution to the Ukraine-Russia conflict, they will blame Somalia for the economic.
So you want that minister to be candid and transparent to the people?
He has never been candid and transparent. Anytime he appears before this house to answer questions, you appear condescending, sometimes dismissive, sometimes evasive. What the people of this country expect is the president. Article 67 of the 1992 Constitution is clear that the president shall address Parliament at the beginning of every session. We are in March. March is ending. In April, we'll be rising. At least we'll be breaking in April. The people of this country need to listen or hear from the commander-in-chief. The Minister of Finance, whatever he says here, he's going to say it for and on behalf of the president. We want to hear from the president. Why is he running away? And I can tell you, all the stories they have told us are not even accurate. The list they could even address this should have been my senior brother, Dr. Baumia, not even the Minister of Finance, because he's the chairman of the economic management team.
That's Member of Parliament Murtala Mohammed there speaking to parliamentary correspondent Kwesi Parker-Wilson. You're listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. The full feature on the dying green mangoes will air at 3 p.m. on the Pulse on the Joy News channel. You want to make a date. We're taking a break. When we return, it's opaque and messy. That's the verdict of the Media Foundation for West Africa on government's Agenda 111 project following the Health Ministry's refusal to release information about the project to Joy News.
It also speaks to the opacity and the lack of transparency in government dealings.
We'll hear from a lawyer after this break.
What brings you to my house this early morning? I hope all is well.
All is never well with me, Nikbabo. After paying 3 times for the land for my project, the construction workers are now giving me wahala. From material overestimation to small stealing. I am tired.
I told you so, Efokoku.
It's all because you are trying to become builders when you're corporate workers and business people. Edlum has products tailored to meet your needs. Villas 3 at Amrahia, where there are finished homes. Conveniente, also at Amrahia, where it's contemporary but super affordable apartments. Prices start from $35,000. And the Avant-Garde, located in Adjurigano, which has sleek luxury apartments. For more information, please visit edlumhousing.com or simply call 0270-166-166. Edlum Housing, where spacious homes cost less.
Charlie, you know say DSTV they do something give you anytime you upgrade your DSTV package. From DSTV family to compact, DSTV go carry you go compact plus straight. It means say more series, more movies, more fun. Wow! Bro, so upgrading from compact to compact plus they mean say you go get a step up straight to premium. That be front row seat for your favorite football teams live. Bro, make you sign me up. Make you step up to the next level on us. Upgrade your current DSTV package and we go step you up to the next highest package at no extra cost. DSTV, it's your moment.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. Time now for sports. Mutao is here.
And Ernest, Ghana is speaking big. Nigerians are also speaking big ahead of the World Cup qualifier at Bawayara Sports Stadium. And the president of the Ghana FA, Kojo, who says that Nigeria are our babies.
The waiting period is over. It's in that time of the year where every Ghanaian will have to stand up and be counted. It's that time of the year where our country's pride is at stake. It's that time of the year where our proud warriors will once again step forward to be counted. It's that time of the year where Ghana must be at the Mundial. But before we do that, we have a common foe. the Super Eagles of Nigeria. They come across as our little babies, but they pretend to be the big boys.
That is the president.
Was this produced from the FA?
Yes, it came from the GFA.
With the Isukahu in the background. Indeed, God is with us.
And Ernest, the Joy Sports team is covering every single build-up to that big game on March 25. And the second leg will be on March 29. And we have Qatar Airways, who says going places together. KFC, it is finger licking good. Airtel Tigo Sigakoko bundle. They say life is simple and 10 bet for the better.
Muftal, thank you very much for bringing us the latest in sports. It's opaque and messy. That's the verdict of the Media Foundation for West Africa, which is describing as unfortunate the Health Ministry's refusal to release information on government's Agenda 111 project. This follows a response to an RTI request by Joy News, which said the ministry did not have any information on the various sites, costs, or policy underpinning the project. Information Minister Kojo just last week charged journalists to use the RTI law to access credible information rather than resorting to speculation.
May I take advantage of this to also reach out particularly to the academic community to make use of the Act to apply for information from public institutions. Also to our colleagues in the media, Mr. Speaker, we want to encourage a lot more use of the RTI Act and a lot less resort to speculation and hearsay. The RTI Act grounds you to, by law, get access to information for purposes of media work as well.
That's Kojo Ponkuma, his information minister. We can now hear from the executive director of the Media Foundation for West Africa.
It's unfortunate but not surprising, given the experiences that we've had here at the foundation through direct requests that are made by the foundation at the national, regional, and the district levels. As for example, for almost 1 year, my colleague Manasseh was engaging the Ministry of Education for data on the fumigation exercise in schools during the COVID era or during the peak of the COVID pandemic. Eventually, the ministry indicated that, well, those contracts were awarded by the presidency. So a different and a separate request was made to the presidency for the information, only for the presidency to then write again to say, no, it is the Ghana Education Service that awarded the contracts. So in as much as these developments are quite frustrating, it also speaks to the opacity and the lack of transparency in government dealings. Indeed, if it is not as a result of lack of transparency, it is also an evidence of how, messy government conducts its businesses when it comes to who is in charge of what.
You heard that the Executive Director of the Media Foundation for West Africa, Suleiman Brahma. Private legal practitioner Samson Ladi Yanini says the ministry should have taken steps to redirect the request to the appropriate quarters. Now, do you really care which of the public toilets is safer to use? Soon the AMA hopes to make that easy to identify as it plans to audit and rate all public toilets in the city. This follows the passage of the Public Toilet Operating Manual and successful training of its operators. Let's hear from the Director of AMA Public Health Department, Florence Kuchi.
In fact, I can tell you that for now, averagely, they are doing well, unlike first. Formerly, when you go to some public toilet, you cannot even breathe. You have to light a cigar before you enter there. But now, they are all trying to ensure that they operate good public toilet. And most of them were also using these print materials for anal cleansing. But now, through the education, the printed papers are going out of the system and they are all coming in with the real toilet roll that we want them to use. In fact, one thing that we want to eliminate entirely from the public toilet system is it is not just one, smoking at the public toilet facility when you go in there. We want to eliminate the smoking there. We want to eliminate the print papers that are used as anal cleansing materials. And we want to ensure that all the public toilet operators go by the right PPEs that they are supposed to use always.
And you had the Director of Public Affairs at the AMA, Florence Kuchi, ending the midday news. You're on Joy 99.7 FM. Our top story this hour: ECOWAS court orders the Attorney General to pay $750 for late filing of defense in the case against the Echapa deal. You have more on these stories when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Just before we go, we'll bring you the latest in showbiz.
The case of dancehall king Shatta Wale has yet again been adjourned for reason that the singer is out of the country. Remember that Shatta Wale was granted a 100,000 Ghana cedis bail after he was arrested for publication of false news. The trial has been adjourned to April 19. Rapper Trigmatic has lamented that content providers such as music artists do not fully benefit from their art due to lack of knowledge. Trig says society should protect them by organizing dialogues and events that seek to impart knowledge in music business. Now, the newest reality TV series making waves on Netflix is Young, Famous and African, executive produced by Ghana's Piside and Martin Asaria Mankwa, parading famed affluent stars who play, flirt and feud in Johannesburg, South Africa.